I love when I prattle onto this thing for a while before realising it's not actually recording. Yeah, try to remember everything I just said. I'm sure it was quality. I think it was something like today's Saturday. I don't know what day number it is. I don't know what the date is. It's probably day 107 or somewhere around there. I did 13.5 miles yesterday out of town. Just ran out of steam in the afternoon and ended up setting up camp early. And there was nothing appealing sort of for about 10 miles after that. It was just uphill and there's no camping with water that actually sounded appealing. It was either all mosquito infested or the water sounded pretty rough, or I don't know. Just decided to stay where I was at an early night. It was hot though. Ended up just sleeping in my hiking shorts and nothing else. No sleeping bag or anything. Lay there sweating all night on my sleeping mat, which is kind of like a inflatable mat that's kind of a bit of a plasticky sort of, I don't know what material actually is, but yeah, it's not real nice to lie on bare skin. So it's a long night, but it's what it is. Up early, hiking at 5:30 this morning. Always hear these little lizards like scurrying around, or squirrels and chipmunks and things. Whenever you hear the scurrying and the stuff on the side of the trail, first thought is always bear. Apparently there's a lot of bears in this area, but I haven't seen any yet. So, yeah, it was a rough night, but up early hiking, trying to get as much in as I can before it gets too hot. And hoping for some tree cover like I have today. With some luck, it'll stay quite shady, hopefully, maybe. Just employed one of my new itchiness prevention strategies, which is probably going to be too much information for most people, but this time out of town I packed out a separate smaller water bottle with a flip top on it, so I can actually, after using the facilities, I can get a good spray and really get that area clean rather than just wet wipes. I think the wet wipes are potentially irritating the situation more than they're helping it. But you gotta keep, there's certain parts of the body you gotta keep clean out here when you're hiking for days on end or months on end. I learned that one on one of my first solo, well, I've only ever done solo backpacking trips, but one of my first ones I learned the importance of keeping everything clean. And it worked pretty well using those strategies worked pretty well for the first couple of months of this trail. And then something changed. I still haven't figured out what, but so far so good. Since I left town, it's been quite bearable, and my foot is actually feeling pretty good too. Even the balls of my feet, which they were starting to get quite sore. I felt they were on fire most of the day, but I swapped out to the new insoles, podiatrist ones, the orthotics in my shoes. I did notice this morning that maybe just because it's a shorter day, but I did notice this morning when I sort of stretch my feet out like I do in the morning while I'm packing up my sleeping bag and rolling my mat up and stuff, I sort of kneel and squat in certain ways to try and stretch and maintain the mobility of my feet, and I had a lot more mobility this morning, and it was a lot less stiff and a lot less painful. So I don't know if I can attribute that to the new insoles or the shorter day, but either way, it was nice to wake up to. I'd say yesterday and today out of town, everything's been going quite smoothly so far. Knock on wood. Don't want to jinx it. So for now, it's a up and down kind of day. Hopefully in the forest and in the tree cover. I mean, I can't always have flat and downhill days, but now I've pretty much finished this 2,500 foot climb in the morning. It should just be fairly undulating most of the day. Hopefully there's gentle ups and downs and nothing too dramatic. So I'll leave it at that and we'll see what the day brings. I guess when I said I was hoping the trail would be shaded today, I should have been more specific, knowing that the trail guides would, oh, you want shade, huh? Well, here's an overgrown nightmare. This part I'm walking through now isn't actually that bad compared to some of it, but it's, yeah, definitely pretty thick. Certainly not needing to worry about sunscreen at the moment. So yeah, it's pretty typical for the old trail guides. You'll screw at every chance. They'll be like, oh, you want shade, huh? Well, here you go. Enjoy. I don't know if you can hear this. There's a lot of different dogs barking down there. That is weird. No idea what's going on. I'm pretty sure this is a cow. It certainly sounded like a cow. Either that or it's a bear that's learnt to make cow sounds. Hey cow, what are you mooing at? There's something else in the trees to my right. No. How you doing? Hey? Yep, you're a cow. You're a bull, actually. I was trying to figure out what this sign said, and I was like, ah, dinner. Now I get it. More than just a little bit smoky down there. I'm guessing that's all from this fire that's up near Ashland on the Oregon border that I'm heading rapidly towards. And I'm slowly getting closer to Mount Shasta. I've been walking towards it for a few days now. Ooh, it's 2:30. Been hiking since 5:30. Coming up on about 23 and a bit miles, maybe 24. I gotta admit, I'm not far off calling it a day. It's damn hot, soaked in sweat. It's gotta be about, I don't know, mid-30s, or I guess that's around the very high 90s or 100 degrees. Coming up on some water and some campsites shortly, and then there's no more water for 10 miles after that. And well, I certainly have time to do another 10 miles. I don't know that I want to. So 10 miles would take me 3.5 to 4 hours probably, given it'd be taking me from a sort of 23 and a bit mile day to a 33 and a bit mile day, up over 50 kilometers. Seems silly. Seems strange that like a 23 or 24 mile day would be considered a short day now, but it is starting to feel that way. It's not a bad day, not by a long shot, but I am grappling with the idea of calling it early again. I feel like I'm somehow not failing, but just not putting in not putting in a good effort, but I don't know, to have hiked through the heat of the day. Maybe I should have just found some shade and stopped for a few hours and then just gotten in here later in the day and be like, yeah, that's a full day. Maybe that's what I should have done. But instead, I hiked for as long as I could while it was cool. So at 11:30 and then had lunch about then, about 16, 17 miles. Then it was only another 7 from there, so I just put a podcast in and plodded along. I'm definitely gonna sit down and have a stretch and hydrate, and maybe I'll get motivated to carry a lot of water and hike on a bit further and dry camp somewhere. Really, dry camp is not the end of the world. Even when I can't buy water, I normally only go to it once, fill up everything I've got, and then that normally lasts me for the rest of the evening through the night, and then usually has me tipping some out in the morning before I hike out, or carrying everything I've got out. So it's not like I need to be there. It's more just when I think about it, if I've got to cover 10 miles between this water source and the next, carry enough to stay hydrated through the hot afternoon, get through the night, cook with. It's a fair bit of water to carry, rather than just hang out here. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. But yeah, it's gonna be a long week, or however long it takes to get either for this heat wave to pass, or for me to get far enough north that it stops being so hot. Maybe this is it for for the next month. Maybe I'm doomed. I've definitely experienced hotter temperatures, much hotter. But for some reason, the mid-30s to high 30s is this weird temperature range where it's very hot and uncomfortable. So that's like 100 degrees, it's hot and uncomfortable. And then for some reason, when you go to hotter places, when you're up in the 45s to 50, or you're up around that 120-ish degree mark, it's so hot that somehow, for me, that extreme person that likes to suffer kind of kicks in and doesn't feel as bad, because I've accepted it's like inhumanely hot, extremely hot, that most people couldn't deal with it. Then some part of me is like, oh well, I can deal with it, I'm tough enough. But for some reason, that mid-30 mark, where mid to high 30s, where everyone can deal with it, but it just sucks. That bothers me more. For now, this water should be around any one of these bends, so let me get ready and start fantasizing about fresh cold water, because I ran out of my warm water that I was carrying a little while back. Ended up deciding to push on tonight. I was hung out at that creek for a while where I was going to camp, and then I went, it's early, it's only sort of 3-4 o'clock by the time I had a good break and got some water. And decided there was a campsite a few miles up the hill, which was worth lugging water up to. So it took me to almost 26 miles for the day. Probably look at doing 30 tomorrow, which will leave me with 20 into town the next day, to Mount Shasta. So it wasn't so bad in the end. 25 is kind of the minimum I go for these days. I think soon, hit Oregon, 30 will probably become the minimum. So the miles certainly crank up, and but on the plus side, it's good to see the progress up the trail. Like, it's phenomenal to see how quickly it's blowing by now that the days are much longer. Well, the mileage is much longer. Anyway, it's 6:30. As you can see, it's not even close to dark, but I am gonna go to sleep and get up early tomorrow and do it all over again.